Hey, horse friends, it's Becca here.
And Kristen.
And we have another Reddit story for you guys that Kristen hasn't heard yet. And so the title here is Hoping to Open My Stable Without Conflict from My Former Employer. Advice Needed.
Ooh, sticky.
So the short version. I have been working as an instructor at a local stable for the last several years. I am now opening my own stable at a different location. Several clients at my current job are highly likely to follow me instead of remaining at that stable. How can I handle this transition without coming across as poaching
I have
clients and
so many
causing bad
questions.
blood? Yeah. And that's the short version. And in the short version, there's not a whole lot of information. So like you said, it can get sticky. There's a lot of nuance and everything to it. And one of the things, because I read ahead and I know more of the story, but I also read one of the comments that I agree with. If they're already your own clients, it's not really poaching. Now, there are clauses within boarding contracts and everything that they're going to have to follow, whether it's a 30-day, 60-day, or whatever notice policy. I don't know of any places that do boarding that don't have some sort of policy like that in place. So you'd have to look at that because I'm assuming it would be boarding as well. But even if not, you have lessons and a lesson program, depending on how it is and the way it goes through and is run through, there may be a termination policy in place.
Or a non-compete.
Yeah. And two, the location is a big thing. It said at another location. Well, exactly where?
Where
Like,
is
is it a
that?
different city? Is it, how far away is it?
I'm itching to hear the rest of the story.
Yeah. So the long version. Like I mentioned, I have been working as an instructor at a local stable for the last several years. I get paid minimally, an amount I agreed upon, to instruct lesson clients and handle a few other responsibilities. The owner/head instructor, we'll call Sharon, receives most of the money paid by the lesson clients. I really love working with the clients and the horses, etc. My entire life I've wanted to start my own stable, but I never had the facility or the horses for it. But in the meantime, I've accumulated 10 plus years of experience in the equine industry, as well as extensive experience teaching children of all ages in hopes that one day I could accomplish my dream. Fast forward through the last few years, I now own 3 schoolmaster horses and a large assortment of equipment. I currently allow Sharon to use my horses for a few of the clients. My horses aren't extremely fancy, but they are safe. The clients and I have won a considerable amount of ribbons and trophies with them in various different classes from local to regional levels. Additionally, I was finally able to acquire a lovely property with a nice stable, extensive paddocks, and working areas. There's other pieces that have come together for me, but the point is that now finally I have what I needed to start my own stable. Now that I am opening my own stable, I will no longer be working at Sharon's stable. Here's where it gets complicated. Sharon has a controversial reputation because she is fairly good with the horses, but she is very rude and rough verbally with clients. Even very young children and beginners. Understandably, the clients don't like that. I want to be clear that Sharon has several good qualities. She is often very generous, charming, etc. But the problem is no one can fix or justify her terrible attitudes towards clients. I've known her for years and she won't change. Sharon has increasingly delegated lesson clients to me so she doesn't have to deal with them as much, and they are more comfortable with that arrangement. It's a win-win, except that now it has thrown me in the middle as a mediator, and I am constantly expanding my mental and emotional energy trying to remain on good terms with Sharon and the clients. 2 clients won't even come to the stable at all unless I am on shift. Several others have repeatedly asked if I would do private lessons elsewhere. I have declined each time.
Sharon sounds toxic.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping that I could end on good terms with Sharon, but this week we got into a heated argument. She was teaching a lesson for 2 newer clients. They have only taken 1 month of lessons so far, so they are still very inexperienced. I had taught their first 3 lessons, but on this particular day I had other responsibilities, and the clients opted to take the lesson with Sharon instead of rescheduling. Halfway through the lesson, something happened, and I arrived just in time to hear Sharon screaming at the new clients so loudly that everyone on the entire property could hear her.
Wow.
And probably the neighbors too. As I was walking towards the stables, the clients requested to be transferred back to me. She turned on me and accused me of being unprofessional and poisoning all of her clients against her. I was trying to de-escalate, but the damage was done and everyone there saw and heard what went down. I have always made a big effort to keep all the clients on good terms with her, at the expense of myself, but this very public meltdown, but this very public meltdown is one that I can't sugarcoat this time. Less than 2 hours after the incident, I had multiple messages from several clients asking again if there was any possible way for me to do lessons and services outside of Sharon's stable. I haven't addressed this yet. I have been keeping my new place under wraps for months because it was never my intent to steal clients from Sharon. My problem is more than 10 of Sharon's regular clients were brought on and maintained by me. I met them, made the connections, invited them to the stable, have taught most of the lessons they have taken there, and coached them to several wins at competitions, and organized the get-together at the stable. Some of these people are family friends, one is a relative, etc. So even if I don't take them with me, they won't stay at Sharon's stable without me anyway. Obviously, it's a huge no-no to poach or subvert clients, and even though that isn't my intention, I feel like no matter what, I'm going to be seen as bad guy, and my good reputation will take a hit in the professional community. Sharon has been around a few decades longer than I have and has somehow managed to keep a ton of friends and connections despite her terrible behavior, so I'm worried this fallout with Sharon will tarnish my image and negatively affect my stable moving forward. Do you have any encouragement or advice for how to navigate this minefield? Am I actually the one in the wrong here to begin with?
First of all, Sharon sounds crazy. And there's a lot of things that are wrong with this. One, as a barn manager trainer, you should never be screaming and yelling and belittling people. That's not a good way to train. We actually did a video on that just recently.
Yeah. When I was reading this the first time, it reminded me of that video that you made about the toxic trainers. And one of the things too, I was thinking about it is, despite, this posters, OPs, professionalism, different stuff, everyone involved there has a little bit of play because they're all enabling it. Now, granted, there's not always a lot that some people can do. Sometimes you have to kind of sit with it and deal with it because of situations, because that is the work and all. And with this line of work or other works where you have clients, whether it's going through some kind of system and then to you, or you are, let's say for a hairstylist, they rent out their space at most places unless they own it, you know again, a lot of these people actually sound like they're already your clients. Most of them don't really sound like Sharon's client, outside of the fact that
they don't even like her.
Yeah, outside of the fact that it's going through the facility or through her, and then you get paid, right? And that would be the part where, whatever her cancellation terminology policy is, determination policy of the lessons of whatever else, those clients will have to honor that. And they're not obligated to follow through. So say there's a 30-day policy, they're not obligated to actually stick out those 30 days. They're only obligated for that payment.
So
for the 30 days.
I'm going to let you guys know how I would do things if everything was perfect, quote unquote perfect. When I have a client come to me and they want to switch to me, and maybe if I wanted to move to another barn, I always make sure that they've had a conversation with their previous trainer first, because I want to keep a good vibe in the community. And also I would want that done to me. Mm-hmm. And some people, honestly, when I approach them like that, they kind of get backed off. And then if they choose not to do that, I've decided I almost don't want them as my client either, because they would be afraid possibly when they leave me to talk to me or to be upfront with me about scenarios. We do that commonplace in our own barn here. When people switch from one trainer to the other, we always make sure, hey, have you talked to Beck before you're going to come and take lessons with me? Because that's really important. And we need the feedback. Now, the problem with somebody like this is that she sounds certifiably insane.
And it sounds like it doesn't matter how it's going to be approached. It will never seem like it'll be on good terms.
Right. So what would think possibly might do well is if the client sent her an email
Mhm.
closing out their relationship with her.
Yeah. And they don't have to say why, right? It can be helpful for instructors and trainers and stuff to know why, but you are not obligated to say why. You can just say, "Hey, I'm moving," whatever. You don't have to say that you're going to somebody else. You can just say that you are ending that for,
They're terminating
yeah,
their relationship with
right?
you for whatever reason.
Especially, again, like I said in the beginning, everything, if there's boarding contracts are always there. Um, Not everyone that I know of, have worked with or done different things with, have necessarily lesson contracts or policies, termination policies in place. Not everyone does. Some people do. So that's something that, with OP, they're gonna have to figure that out. The other thing too is, like, particularly in lines of work like this, where you running your own business in some sort of industry where the growth is either just a little bit up from where you are. Either you start off as, a groom or a barn helper or something, and then become the assistant trainer or whatever. You have moments where you either do start your own facility in whatever you want, and that's your growth. That's the way that you get bigger yourself, or you stay where you are and it's stagnant. And that's a personal thing. It's that individual's each thing. But that is something to think about. If somebody watching this is a younger professional or getting into that or thinking about that, this is something that you can think of and plan for later on. And if that's something that you want your own facility someday, talk to the person that you're already working around out of
Let them
for.
know your goals.
And a lot of times, if they're decent people, they'll help you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So
And it can kind of help if they're insane. Like, you might get a little inkling of that.
yeah.
Again, you might choose to stay there or not. That depends. If you get that inkling of crazy, you
Right?
can be
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah, and don't work
and
for
what can
crazy. This girl,
what
you
can
never
they
should have
teach you?
stayed there that long, okay?
Yeah.
Somebody's screaming and yelling at you, you leave.
Yeah. And hindsight is hindsight. But, again, it goes back to a lot of the behavior is very toxic behavior. But a lot of the other people are enabling it by staying, by continuing with it in some manner, right? And now she says that this person is really good with the horses, but I would question on that.
You're
Like,
not in control of your
is
emotions.
there any point in time that she's alone with horses? Because people are really good at masking. They can be terrible to people and then look like they're okay with the animals, and then all of a sudden behind closed doors they're not. I'm not saying anything on this person. Obviously, I don't know her, the Sharon. But it's always that thing, like, if they are emotionally dysregulated towards people, you generally, not always, but generally don't have good emotional regulation towards animals or other things, especially when it comes to animals and stuff that we kind of deem as like, I will control you and manhandle
Well,
you,
and think
you
about
know.
it. There's a lot of psychology, right? Linking children to horses.
Hmm.
People that abuse animals, abuse children, all of those things. And in there it says that she's screaming and yelling at kids.
Hmm.
And that's a line,
Even, yeah,
right?
screaming, yelling out all the clients. And it's one thing, and it's like, two, one of the ways that OP can go about this is she opens her stable, she advertises like normal. She doesn't like necessarily tell the people at her barn and everything, but she can advertise as normal, put her face out there and everything so people know it is, but then people just find her naturally. And the people that, if this Sharon person is as bad as she says, and the people really do not like her as much as she says, they're going to leave on their own anyways. Even if she wasn't going to open her own stable, at some point these people would leave. It wouldn't be worth it to stay for the good person to deal with all that, because all of that is going to be toxicity on them. It's going to be trauma on them in some capacity, and even OP herself,
Right.
assuming it's a her.
Yeah. So if people, in my opinion, if people aren't comfortable giving an exit interview or telling her in person that they're leaving and why they're leaving, an email is just fine too. But there does need to be something from the clients.
Mm-hmm. Some
It
form of communication.
Yeah. That keeps good terms in the horse world. And it might be better in writing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if she ever tries to slander things,
There's proof of
there's
it,
proof of it.
And the good thing about email is that outside of, you have a paper trail, you have the proof of whatever. It's also a way that clients can comfortably address this topic without getting worried that they're going to be screamed or yelled at.
Yeah.
That they're not going to be berated and
Mhm.
looked down. Because I assume that a lot of them would be afraid of that.
She's not
It
going to handle
sounds
this
like
well.
she would be,
She's
you
not going
know.
to handle this well.
And again, at the end of the day, no matter how OP approaches this, I don't think she will be all that kind about it. I
No,
think she will
it's
be
going to be hard.
angry. And I think for anyone, even with somebody who is generous and kind and doesn't have that negativity or toxic personality, it would still be hard. It wouldn't be seen in a negative light or anything, but it's always going to be hard because, especially if you're there for several years and over time and everything. I'll use myself for example. If I ever opened up something or whatever,
You
I've
better
been here
not
for
leave me.
10
You
years.
better not leave me. She's not allowed.
It's been 10 years. It would be a big thing,
Yeah.
to leave here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one thing that would get me to do it. It would be a breeding farm.
Yes.
You know what that is.
But then I'd be following him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still want to get rid of me.
Yeah. But she is also aware of what my goals are.
Yeah.
Whether or
We
not
have regular
that's here,
conversations. Yeah.
or if I open my own.
Yeah.
But it would be breeding.
Yeah.
That's my love. And in that light too, it wouldn't be a direct competition either. So it could be just a neighbor next door. But
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and your opinions on this. It is kind of a little bit of a situation with how toxic the Sharon person seems to be. But I think, one, getting advice is a great way to go for OP. She seems to have a good thought and everything else. Be as professional as possible and as professional as you believe you can be. Because I don't think that it's going to be handled well by the other person in general. But you can just do the best you have. And I think for me personally, if I had a situation like that, I would just start to advertise as that place, being there, being new and everything else, without being, just the general regular way of advertising, whether it's paper advertisements at your local feed stores, to Facebook, to, Instagram and whatever else that you have available to you.
Yeah. Well, let us know your thoughts.
Bye.
So thank you. Bye-bye.